Hey guys, good evening everyone. Welcome to our daily stock market insights. This is Miss JD once again, and I will be reviewing your requested stocks. And if you have not watched my video today, I made a very interesting video about XRP. I will just put the link down below so you also check that out. And if this is your first time to watch my video, and you like this kind of content, I am inviting you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're always updated whenever I have new videos. And in a few hours from now, it's already the wee hours of the morning here in the Philippines. But again, as a daily rigor for me, it's a must for me to always review the market before the day starts or after the day ends. But let's go ahead and discuss it. Now let's talk about the index, how the index performed. It has been the third day of red bearish candlestick, as you can see here. But even though we had a lot of decliners today, I still see that this could be a solid area. There's a slight overshoot. I was pegging it at this level, but because there was a wick here, so I'd like to establish our support now at the 6,800 level. Again, it's an area, it could be a little higher or lower. And we have an MA20 line here, so I'm thinking we will just be stabilizing within this range. We could be doing sideways first to establish some more support or a stronger support at this level before we go higher again. And why am I saying that it could go higher versus it dropping? I'd say that it is really going to go higher because if you're to look back from way back, we've been declining significantly and we're already recovering at this point. So I think, see that? There used to be a support here as well. So I'm thinking this is a significant level to really observe starting tomorrow. Although just be extra careful, tomorrow is a Friday and could be a profit taking day. So again, we're pegging the index to stabilize at the 6,800 level first before we could rally to the upside once more. Okay, so I'd like to, of course, recognize those people who may have dropped a comment here. As always, I'm reading all of them. I may not be replying, but I definitely look into your feedback and comments right here. So, although some of the comments here nowadays, I receive a lot of spam. Look at these folks. I think these are bots. But anyway, so in my video today, I talked about the pullback of XRP, and Bright Knight said, "Good video, thank you. You're welcome." And of course, I've noted your requests here. I'll also create my consolidated feedback or video about um, hard truths request. I know I have a I owe you a reply because I'm also researching. So I'm now torn between my trade and Timson. So those are my two bets. If you can also drop by and check out the comments from Radiology Trevor. Yeah, from Radiology Trevor, and I think there's one more who dropped a comment here. Benjamin also talked about BDO Nomura. There you go. So Penina, I'll review your requests in this video. There, SSI and BUL as well. I think I mentioned this. Yeah. So those are the requests from you, and I'm definitely going to check that out. Okay, let us go back to our index. So there, as you can see, we have a potential support to be formed at the 6,800 level. All right, and let us jump into your request. Let's start with GTCAP. GTCAP over here, we did a dip, but it's a third day, and we just landed almost at the same level. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to plot a possible support at the 568 level. This used to be a resistance, as you can see here. This used to be a resistance right at this level. and then some bounce that happened right at that area. Okay, so I think that's just normal. We're trying to stabilize and gain some more power before we take off fully. So that is what I am seeing at the moment, because if you're to look at the potential of the stock, oops, we still have some more room for growth. Look at that. Okay, so it's just, if you're to look at it on a wider perspective or a longer time frame, this is just the beginning of the reversal. And if you are also to look at the foreign buying that happened today, we had a significant amount. So I'm thinking this is really going to just stabilize here and take off again. So I am addressing this statement for mid to long term investors. So if you want to enter and have a position in this stock, I think you're still at a good level. SHLP also had a sign. This is a sign of weakness, so I'm thinking we might be revisiting first. This is the nearest area of support, this one over here. Okay, because if you look to the left, you will see this area that used to be a resistance. Okay, and some stabilization that happened right at this level. So this one is a good, it makes the movement more sustainable. And like if you have a very very steep climb, chances are the next day profit taking can also happen. So this one I think is just a healthy move, and we're already beginning to look at this from a very constricted Bollinger Band. We're starting to push the band wider. And when it does that, there's a significant move that's going to happen next. So if I'm to use that example right over here, okay, look at this, right? If I'm to look back how it happened previously, you had a constricted Bollinger Band here, and then when we started triggering the lower band, a significant decline happened. Same is true in this level over here. When we started triggering the lower band, then there's a significant drop. Now, so if you are to use the same example, this time around on a reverse direction, we might see the same movement, right? So after this being constricted, then we started opening, chances are there could be some days we will have some profit taking, but tendency is we are going to continuously move higher and higher, especially because we came from a big drop at the moment. So let's take a look at Double Dragon. Okay, Double Dragon I think is still looking fine, even though we had reds here. We're already moving higher than the MA20. I personally am in a position with Double Dragon. If you were able to watch my video uh, the previous day, I think this was the day when I entered, if I'm not mistaken, or this one. But my average here is, I think, 14.80 something, if I'm not mistaken. We're still within a healthy level. 1443 is the area, which is of course very near the MA20, and in the previous days we've seen uh, the candlesticks dropping almost at the same level. So I can conclude therefore that this is an area of support. And as the price is moving downwards, look at this, your volume is also starting to decline. But I'm not going to be surprised if in case we will see some sideways first before it takes off. Okay, because consider Friday. So we could even have something like that before it goes higher again. But overall, if you were to look at the potential of this stock, there's still a lot of potential over here. And by the way, if you're also reading the news or disclosures about the company, they're building up a REIT, right? They're developing a REIT. I'm not sure if this is going to be in the same stock, but definitely Double Dragon is going to have a REIT in the Philippine market. So what it does is that instead of so in a nutshell, if you want to have a rental property, right, you will have to build the property yourself, and then have some tenants rent it. And how much is that? Minimum, for instance, in an apartment, you'd need around 2 million, 3 million, right? Before you could have a property ready for lease. But here in the stock market, there are companies like Ayala REIT. So this company has so many buildings for rental, and then a portion of the income will go to the holders, or stockholders. So in the same manner for Double Dragon, if this will also engage in REIT, they have a lot of buildings for lease, and then they could give us some regular payouts. But the reason why I got in here is just really to ride the wave later on when this stock will reverse fully, because I feel that this, of course, with the news that's related to the development for the company, definitely in the coming days, we will have some form of bullish movements uh, right after. And I'll just decide later on which area I can exit. So I will try to ride the wave or the uptrend at its fullest potential, but we'll see. Now, look at the volume from previous one. Okay, this one over here, we were at, I think, at the bottom part, right? So there was also a slight increase in the volume, and then we started recovering. However, if you are to compare the volume from here to here, this one has a really, really significant volume. That means a lot of people are already accumulating in this area. And if you are to notice this volume over here, when it had that big wick or long wick, so we registered this much, right? But the following day, when it did red, the volume declined. That means people, like half of the population, is still holding onto their position. So that's the key thing right here for Double Dragon. I'm not saying it will take off right away tomorrow. No, I will not guarantee that. I'd say maybe in the coming days, but you're still at an area where we are very, very near our support. So that's something to look forward to. Let's talk about Globe. Globe, GLO. Why am I typing the entire thing? Okay, for Globe, we are just doing sideways. This is still a sideways movement here. But if you're to engage in Globe, my 2 cents over here is engage in Globe for long term, because this company pays out dividend regularly. And if I'm not mistaken, just do the math, guys. If they're paying out quarterly, that means you receive a payment four times a year. So 27 on average. Well, it fluctuates. So let's say around 25. 25 times 4 is 100 pesos. And if you are to use this as an example, let's say you buy it at the 2,000 level, then that will give you a dividend yield of 5% per year. So which is way, way better if you're going to put your money in the bank. Okay, so right now I'd say 1,998 or 2,000 area is a support level for me. Look at that, it has been jumping or bouncing each time this key level is hit. So something to take note of there. MBT. It looks like the chart of our index, but I for one still see some pullbacks. Could be in one day or in the coming days, but 44.90 or 45 level is a possible support that I see, which is also very near our MA20 line. So something to check out too. Let me see how. Okay, we're already in the safe zone for our RSI. So just take note of that key level where I plotted it, as that is the nearest support that I can see. FPH first. Okay, I hope this is correct. There's a dividend December 15. There's another one. Does this give out regularly? 19, twice a year. Looks like this one gives out twice a year. May. Yeah, so 2 pesos is not that huge. So 1, 2, around almost 3% yield, dividend yield a year. Okay, where are we now? I'd say we are currently stabilizing very near our resistance. This is the resistance area that I see at the moment, 66.26, that level. See that? There's a stabilization that happened here. So what I can say is if this stock opens and let's say and the day tomorrow with the entire candlestick higher than the 66 level and you have a breakout there, you might see some new higher highs and higher lows in the coming days. But in the event it drops and breaks your MA20, meaning it goes lower than the MA20 line. So by the way, I'm using a Bollinger Band. So 3 lines you have here, that's a Bollinger Band, and I did not tinker with the settings. It's just by default a 20, MA20. So this is my take. If it crosses lower than the MA20 and probably drops some more, my next support that I can see would be around this level, 62 area, 6260 or around that. So it's an area, guys. So maybe 62 level should be a much better level. There. So this is your resistance. Wait for it to break out of that resistance, then probably that's a time you can consider a breakout play. Otherwise, wait for it to pull back and see some stabilization happening at the 62 level. Then that's also a good haggle. But something to take note of, their dividend, there's a, oh, it's done. Okay, don't mind that, it's done. X date is done. EWB. Am I typing it correctly? There's an EWB. Oh, east to west. Maybe this. I must have typed it wrong. Okay, so let's talk about east west. East west has been rallying for several weeks now, in fact, months. And I'd say we have reached a resistance at this point. And it has already been the second day where you have seen a declining momentum or declining candlestick as well. So if you're a long-term investor, I'd say there could be a pullback here, and watch out around the MA20 level, and see if that could be a good area to have more volume or enter some buy some more around MA20 line. But definitely, like any other banks, the more stable ones, shall I say, it's good to take advantage of these dips because eventually these banks will recover. So you have your BPI, your BDO, SECB, RLC, if I'm not mistaken. RLC. Okay, let me just verify that. And of course, East West. Okay. No, not RLC. I forgot the other bank that starts with letter R. Rizal RCB. Let me see this. Oh, this one too has been on a decline for a long time and it is not still sleeping here. Okay. Like the other banks, they've already recovered. See that? Somehow, at least, right? So I think if there is going to be a retracement or a correction here, it's just a temporary correction, probably be bouncing at the MA20 line. Now let's take a look at JFC. JFC is currently sitting at the MA20, so I will see if it sustains here. I can say that this could be a support level, but in case it drops some more, I will just have to add more volume because I know, I already locked in some profit here around 193 actually. I was not able to max it out up to this level. I got too excited when around 193. I forgot which day I took profit, but around this area. I exited a few positions, and then my plan is as it goes lower and lower, then that I just buy it again. But this one over here, we will still observe if this is going to stabilize and create a support. Otherwise, if it drops, I'm going to catch it right here. 178 could be a good area. Definitely, the stock is really worth holding on until years and years. Okay, we previously had this. I can still remember this time. I was able to take profit around 324 level. Was not able to max it out up to this point. I know it reached up to 328 there, but I was only able to do it around 324 there. So that was it. Good thing I was able to lock in some profit, but I was pretty new, so my volume is just small by that time. Now, something to look forward to, just accumulate again. Let's take a look at SEC. I know I was not able to discuss this last night because of the very noisy background. I was planning to record 2 videos before sleeping, but the noisy background got me derailed. Anyway, so you see you have a gap over here. I'm not 100% sure if that already covered the entire gap. No, this drop over here did not. So I'm thinking it could probably drop some more, and I really hope it could revisit the MA20 line. I also see this, it's still here because the previous month I was also in here. Around this time when it reached very near the 12 peso level, I exited because I got it around the 9 something area during this accumulation stage, and I exited. And I was not able to buy it back right here when it dropped because I transferred to different stock. But good thing, look at that. It created a higher high, and then when it drops, it's a higher low. So it's even possible that we might just be filling this gap. And now let me just put that here then, because we might create something like that as well. Notice that each time it drops, when it reaches this level, it is respecting that. So there could be a possibility that we might even just drop up to this level because you had your resistance right there. Or if it drops some more, just check this out. We could also be dropping right over here when this price area is going to be revisited, because this used to be a resistance as well. So if you go to the right, it might be right over here, probably on maybe tomorrow. We don't know. So those are the key levels, okay? This is your first resistance. This is your second resistance. And then if it doesn't really break this line, then you're still in an uptrend. So those are my 2 cents. Oh, there's 2.2 million foreign buying. So some good signs indeed. Okay, so that's your SEC. What about tech? Tech also rested a bit, right? And which is very near the MA20 line. So I'm thinking it is just going to stabilize there. So this is a support as well. See, that used to be a support here, a resistance, and a resistance. So we've proven it in the videos I've created for the past how many months now. All right, we're looking at these charts every single day, and we've already proven that each time a stock breaks out of the resistance, it will create something like this. It will go higher and it will retest and it'll continue to move up. And in this case, it even tested the previous resistance, okay, and it revisited it again. So this for me is a solid support, okay, 6.35 level. So if you'd like to add more volume right here, and if you are in a position already, that's a good area to start accumulating. Look at that. Imagine how much we have dropped so many times. And also, if you are into dividend investing, this too has is giving out dividends consistently. Okay, so those are your key levels. If you want to start accumulating at the 0.35 level or 6.35 area, that's a good one. There's a foreign buying, take note of that. Okay, so that's for tech. Let's take a look at BDO. BDO, I think it could potentially do two things, right? It could just be a, let me just do this. Let's try to measure that in our Fibonacci. So let's say we use this or we use this. Let's use this one and up to here. So this could be the first level, right? I'm using this, okay. So if you're to use this as the lowest point, and then this over here is the highest point, the chances are it could revisit, so which already did in fact, and we had a bounce that happened. The wick that you have that you see there is already a sign of early signs of a bounce, because when the price hit the area where we plotted as a possible area of bounce, there was a bounce that happened. So we could just be doing sideways right here or continue the uptrend right away. Now, I'm not saying we're not super perfect. So if it drops, you have some key levels to watch out for. And true enough, probably as you hit right here, if you're too conservative and wait for this area, it could probably happen, but I think it might take some time. You already have some foreign buying that happened here. So I'm thinking just probably the most that it could drop would be around the 100 level. But this for me is already a solid one, especially because we came from a big drop and we're just starting to recover. And BDO, if I'm not mistaken, I've read in the news that the older branches are now open for the open in regular hours up to 4 p.m. So I think that's a good sign. They're back in their normal operations. Okay, so that is BDO. Let's check out Dito. Dito is really an interesting one. Really have to, oh, there's a 1.6 million on foreign buying. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. Okay, this is a consolidation. So maybe, 555? Let's do, okay. I'm thinking we could be stabilizing around the 6 peso level. Yeah, 6.04, around that area. We might still see it dropping for a very, very uh, few cents. Okay, but I'm really hoping that this thing could happen again, so we could catch it around the 4 peso level. This was the time I will never forget this day, November 2. Was able to execute my order, but because of the latency, which Hard Truth also mentioned, we missed an opportunity here. I could have entered at 510. Anyway, that's a done deal. But for now, I see it stabilizing around the 6 peso area, 6.04. And let us see tomorrow if we will be recovering. Otherwise, let's wait for next week, because tomorrow is a Friday, in fact. So we might see another red, but stabilize at 6.04. That's a possibility. Okay. So I think that is it for this evening's episode. And I wish you all good luck in your trades and be extra careful, because it's a Friday. And by the way, guys, if you'd like to show your support to Miss JD, I have a Patreon account, and I also have a lot of insights and research that I post there. I'll put the link down below. Okay. And thank you for now, and have a good one. Bye bye.